Wake your ass up because it's time to go beast mode.
Hey bodybuilding fans, John Boss here at the Gaspari Pro Show once again with another core nutritionals athlete. This time we get Marshall Johnson, and Marshall just took second in the pro lightweight division, and it's one of those things where you see a lot of different looks at shows like this. There's just so many top competitors that have obviously made it through the ranks, and you know, Moji's a little shorter, stockier, you're a little bit taller, longer. You both bring some things to the stage, and what were your thoughts just kind of on the overall competition? And I guess you being a little seasoned, you're late in your competition year, you've been laying it out there all year long, and Moji's just coming out for his first show.
Yeah, like I was going to say, actually, Moji and I did a couple of shows together, or a show together in Texas. We were trying to catch up with him. Moji, met him coming back to bodybuilding after 10 years off, and met him early on because he's one of the top pros out there, and just amazing physique. Things I try to emulate. You know, you find the best, and whoever they are, you try to pick the parts that you want to emulate to make your physique and posing better, and he's one of those athletes. But coming in, you know, we're always battling, but we've become really good friends, so much so that when I'm in LA, you know, I stay there at their house, my wife and I, and the hospitality is just amazing. The own room downstairs, the car, you know, so it's wonderful. But battling on stage, you know, we go at it and have a great time, and we're just two different physiques, you know. And I am a little older than Moji, hitting 53 or 54 this year, 53 now. But hitting the stage, you know, we battle on there, we get off and, we hug and say, man, congratulations, you took me this time, I'll take him next time, or he'll take me. And in Texas was a little weird, but won't go into any details about that. But here was just one of those days when Moji, comes in, and he's always on. He always looks good, and all the competitors look great. So, you know, I'll just segue and say, when you make that top five, sometimes right outside the top five, you're bringing an amazing package to the stage, because athletes are just so conditioned, focused on bringing symmetry and muscularity and all of those things that, sometimes, people take for granted. It takes a lot to get there. So when you're placing that top five, pat yourself on the back. Matter of fact, I would say pat yourself on the back when you make it to stage, because it's a lot of work to do it. But a little later in the season for me, my initial plan was to start off later this year. You're saying later, you've been competing every year this is my fourth season. But really just trying to figure out where my best is. I kind of know where it is now, and I know I need to add a little bit of density. Once I start burning, my body burns, and that's wonderful. But sometimes starting a little later brings a little more density for me. But I started a couple guest posing, accepted a couple guest posing offers, which made me start early, and then I said, well, I'm close now, might as well jump in. So coming in now, where I knew the competitors would be, on, and they're always on, but when you get closer to the Yorton Cup, this is the last qualifying show, it becomes one of those shows where everybody comes in, they're ready, they're doing their thing. You're gonna run into the best of the best. You do early on, but it's a little bit more compact sometimes as you get closer in. But great competition, felt good. It was very close. Several people said, Marshall, it could have went either way. We looked at the picture and said, congratulations to my friend Moji, and very happy to be able to step in there and represent Core Nutritionals, and take second place is just very exciting. I was hoping to be on stage to pose down with my boss and sponsor, Doug Miller, but it wasn't meant to be this time. But, we still had a great time seeing him backstage and doing our thing. So,
Cool, good to see you as always. You mentioned Core Nutritionals. What has been kind of the difference maker there? I mean, a lot of people would say, like, this guy's 53 years old, he's 54 years old. Like, how does he keep bringing it like he does? Are there any supplements that you're taking from Core that you feel have, like, made a difference, or maybe is a little something different than you've been doing before?
Well, since you mentioned the age, it's very funny. The joints and things are become, worn, and they take a pounding. And I got to tell you, the Core Flex, I know it has nothing to do with gains and things like that. However, being able to have the gains, your joints have got to be working and functioning, and those pains. I was in the store one day, and Doug said, oh, you've never tried Flex Core? And I said, no. He said, dude, stuff's amazing. Started taking it, and it was like I just noticed one day, you know what, my joints are not hurting. So literally, I've been doing it, twice a day. They said you can kick it up to 3, and stuff's amazing. I love it. Now the other thing, I love the Core Whey protein. Do that all the time. Core ABC is phenomenal. Love that stuff. Peach and cherry is my favorite. That's a branched chain amino. BCAA, which is very good. I stack that with Core Fairy before I hit, the gym, and some of the commodities that I also toss in there as well. But I really do like their products. And even before Core picked me up, I was already using it. So it was like, wow, this is really good. It wasn't one of those guys that said, oh, they'll sponsor me, wonderful, I'll use your product if it's free. It was like, wow, I'm already buying it, and now I can get it for, Doug's taking care of me, so I can kick it up a notch. But I love it. I'm always trying to figure out what Doug's stack is. He kind of guards those well, I'm doing this, and this, but I can't tell you everything. So I'm experimenting and checking, but the core products are very good. I really do like them.
Nice. Now, one of the things that you've kind of gotten a lot of credit for is kind of like your small joint structure, your muscle bellies pop, and they say, like, how does he look this big at that weight? But one thing that you're often, sometimes people will give you a little bit of heat for is they say, like, he needs to bring up his legs. What have you been doing to try and bring up your legs? I know you've been working on them hard.
Oh, well, it's I'm probably the first one that says, my wife will say, honey, you got to do this, you got to do that, bring up this, do this. Coming back, and I won't beat this horse forever, but coming back after 10 years, and literally it was 10 years off. I mean, I was going to the gym once a week or so, enjoying riding my Harley Davidson. My wife has a Harley, up in the mountains, just enjoying life, and coming back. And along those lines, back operation, those kind of things. And so you're working on, when you hit the stage, you realize right away where your weak areas are. And at 53, I feel young, but now it takes a little time to build those things back up, especially the legs. And coming in initially, things actually hurt. I was putting myself under pressure again. I was like, oh, Lord, this is... So actually this year I just started back doing some of the heavier weights, started getting back into deadlifting and things like that. That's going to help me gain more size. Being able to do squats, which I was like before, my hip flexor was just killing me. So working on those areas, it's a work in progress. So well aware, but that's kind of where we're at, just kind of doing a number of things to bring those legs up, bring up other areas, just make them pop, bring out those hams, pull in the glutes, get those shoulders out a little bit more, work on my posing. I mean, it's that whole process, but I do try to target those areas that are the weakest first, and see if we can bring those up and not overshadow it with other areas that seem to grow faster, if you would.
So we got just a couple of weeks to the Yorton. Is that what's next on your schedule, or is there anything else? Or?
That's next. Someone talked to me today about a show, so we'll see if we'll pop in there or not. A couple that we may do. Yorton was the target one. All of these leading up to it, you're kind of dialing in. And not that I'm not on. I felt great today, but we will be even better for the Yorton. That's the whole objective, to come in there and just leave everything on the table. And see where we land. But yeah, and that's in our neighborhood this year. We live right there outside of Washington, D.C. It's going to be in Washington, D.C., or in Laurel, which is considered Washington, D.C. area, metropolitan area. So it's going to be a good time. That show's going to be off the chain. I mean, with 20-some great competitors here today, that's going to probably be up there in the 30s, It's going to be a good show, Yorton Worlds.
Nice. It'd be cool, like you said, to see if you were able to get the nod over Moji and then go head-to-head maybe against Doug if he gets the nod in the heavies. So.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, and I even tried to get Moji down, unfortunately, he won't be doing the Yorton Cup. He's got another prior engagement that he has to do for his sponsor. And I think it's some Europa show, I think, down there. So they're already committed to that. As I told him, hey, come on down. You can stay with us since he's in L.A. Let us reciprocate and show our hospitality and, take you there. We'll battle on stage, and however we land, we land. Last year we were in different classes. He was in the lightweight, and I was a middleweight. I took the middleweight class. Unfortunately, he didn't take the lightweight class, but he was just he came on, Marshall, man, I'm so happy for you. Gosh, kill it on stage, So that's the camaraderie that we have, However it lands, it lands. Much respect for guys that truly are great natural athletes, representing the sport well, lives the lifestyle, and just an all-around great person, Mm-hmm.
No, definitely a good guy, and Paul and I have talked about this multiple times before. Just the people you meet in this sport, just makes you want to come back for more and more all the time.
Sure, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. We part of our of course, I'm a talker, and I'm a people person, so being at the shows, we've met so many people, and then through Facebook and friends, and I'm embarrassed sometimes because there are many people that come up and say, "Hey, Marshall, we're friends on Facebook," and I go, "Oh, okay, hey, glad to meet you," but we really enjoy that and try to share information with up-and-coming athletes, bodybuilders, or even, ladies that are in physique, in the, or physique if you're in the NPC, but figure and bikini. We've just met so many great people, and that just adds to the overall experience. We really do enjoy that part of it.
That's cool. Well, another aspect of the experience is sushi, which it sounds like is on the docket, so we're going to let you get to that.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're going to get to sushi. I had to, unfortunately, my friend Moji and Bill and all those guys were headed to do the Brazilian steakhouse, and I'm tossed, but I got to hang with my sponsor, Doug E. Fresh, a.k.a. Doug E. Fresh, Sergeant Swole, Doug Miller, see if I can out-eat him. I don't know, but we won't go too heavy. But, yeah, sushi I think is on the menu for sure.
Nice, man. We'll enjoy it. It was great interviewing you. We wish you all the best of the Orton. Until next time, John Bossy here with Marshall Johnson at the 2014 Gaspari Pro.